What secrets are you hiding in that murderous mind of yours? Let's find out. Valdo had some ingenious designs hidden in his memories. Observe.
What a mysterious
Light
presence.
of salvation, ray class,
When I'm
needs
ready, and not
darkness,
before.
surrounds us. Valdo's designs were flawed. Do you remember dying here? You will.
Less
Be
real
no more.
and more real.
Feel the pull of the void. Yes, that's it. Death sweeps in. Sin surrounds you. Are you? In this, the realm of the past, I am king, and you will bow.
I need more mana.
This one is my own creation.
Dissect it. Smear it across the
Rayclass
ground.
needs me. Yes, V. Ha! Plenty more where that came from. Face your destruction. Be no more.
I want this ancient power as
Feel the
part
pull
of
of
my
the void.
collection.
Yes, that's it. Death sweeps in. No! Impossible! How? This isn't over. This will never be over. I will unify humanity.
So as you can see, Uber Cortex with Maven on it was a complete joke. There's no surprise there because this build is quite expensive. I invested well over 1000 divines into this character. This video, it's not going to be a build guide. I just want to go over the changes that I made to the build after since the last video, which was about Chaos Inoculation Swap. Previously I used to have an impossible escape, but around the keystone imbalanced guard to take the +1 here, and instead of doing that I decided to get +1 lightning from tattoos and use another impossible escape around elemental equilibrium to take crystal skin, which would basically allow me to take tranquility. Because I have so much increased maximum energy shield, both from the passive tree and the tattoos that were introduced this league, this tranquility gives me about 100% increased spell damage. And they also introduced new tattoos allowing me to take a keystone. So usually here it's Eldritch Battery, but with the new tattoos I'm taking Unwavering Stance, which makes me stun immune, so I don't have to have stun immune on my flask. And I decided to take Curse immune on my flasks because there are some Arch Nemesis modifiers that causes Hex Reflection, and because I have so much curse effect, while mapping I would just simply have my resistances lowered by so much when encountering those Arch Nemesis mobs. I took this Thread of Hope, this massive Thread of Hope here, which allowed me to take Foresight, saved a few points here, and I just took the Notable on Snowforged, and also saved a few points here because I don't have to path this way to take Quick Thwart. Previously I had the body armor with mana reservation efficiency, but I decided to change it to +1 intelligence because I realized that I really don't need that much mana reservation efficiency if I drop clarity and I'm using an enlighten. So that's what I did. For bosses you have to have enlighten 4, but for mapping enlighten 3 it's okay. If you don't do aura swap, you don't really need an enlighten 4 here. So what I mean by aura swap, right now this is the bossing setup, and I have 1.7 tooltip vortex DPS, but for mapping I'm just going to use blasphemy here, and I'm just not going to use hatred. This blasphemy here, this enfeeble linked to blasphemy, it's going to cost mana, right? So because of enlighten 4, I can simply allocate hatred like this. I can use hatred, I can reservate it, and then I'm just for bosses only. So just for bosses I'm just going to cast enfeeble. You can definitely use a different curse such as punishment, because that would be like 100% increase damage if the enemy life is below 50%, but I just simply prefer to have about 30% less damage from monsters. So pretty much these are all the changes. Because I have awakened empower 5, I need to have more strength, so I decided to craft strength on my weapon. Now this weapon right here is not finished, because I'm not sure if this is what I want from this build. Basically the way I would finish this wand would be, this scepter, excuse me, would be to corrupt it with a Krachic Vassal to give 30% quality and make it corrupted, and then I would just spam Tainted Divine Teardrop until I get the damage over time multiplier tier 1. It's basically the same mirror tier scepter compared like the one in Crucible, but without the Crucible tree. So instead of actually spamming about 7 or 800 divines to get tier 1 damage over time multiplier, what I'm going to do, just corrupt this scepter and then just spam Tainted Divine Teardrops until I get tier 1 damage over time multiplier, because it cannot change the fracture, it cannot change the veiled modifier, it cannot change the plus 2. So it is only going to roll over the damage over time multiplier, it's going to modify it until I hit tier 1. These are pretty much all the changes that I did to this build. Just get empower 5, get this body armor. Obviously I could spend like another 200-300 divines to get double T1 implicits on my body armor. Oh, come on, let's be reasonable. Let's be honest. I'm not going to die with this build. It's really irrelevant if I get like 100% more maximum energy shield. On my rings, I just crafted some energy shield and evasion because of this mastery right here that says 20% increase maximum energy shield if both equipped rings have evasion modifiers. So that's pretty much all I did to this build, obviously getting level 100. Let me show you in POP. So skills, enable discipline. My total elemental max hit is going to be 372, and my physical it's going to be, it says 42,000. Let's see, if I use Taste of Hate, it's going to be 56,000 maximum physical hit. My max cold dropped here. I think the cold max hit right here drops because I don't know, maybe it's just an error on path of building. Or maybe this is calculated with negative, so this taste of fate would probably be -20, and this with increased effect would be like -40, and the computer would take the... I'm not sure, maybe it's just a mistake here, but I think that the computer will just consider the highest value being the -20 from the taste of hate. Obviously I want the -40, but the computer, I think it will just take the higher value, which would be -20 is much higher than -40. Because I don't understand why it says here that my max cold hit is going to be 284. Anyway, the character is very tanky. It really doesn't matter.